y'all. Hey Mamuka Jews, what's going on? So a subscriber, or what I like to say is one of my Mamuka Jews, her name is Adriana Savindra, or Adriana Savindra. She asked, I was going to ask you about how do you like being a pharmacy technician? And I love being a pharmacy technician. I have been doing this for 11 years. You may hear a train come through because I'm sitting outside and someone is just pulling up at my neighbor's house, so just try to ignore all that. But I really like being a pharmacy technician. I actually teach it, and I'm also working in the field. Like my regular 9 to 5 is being a full-time pharmacy technician, and like on a couple of my nights, my evenings off, not off from my 9 to 5, but just off, getting off at a certain time. I teach at a local college, the pharmacy technician program. And sorry, I'm country. So yeah, that's what I do, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy teaching more because I don't know, it's just I get a chance to meet new people and see new faces, and questions are always being asked of me. I love answering a lot of questions, and I like giving answers. I really do. As far as there's actually there's 4 different types of pharmacy technicians. You can either be a compounding pharmacy technician, a sterile IV technician, you can be a nuclear pharmacy technician, or you can be a chemotherapy pharmacy technician. So it's not just one entity. You can be 4 different pharmacy technicians if that's what you choose to do. But right now, I am a sterile IV and just a regular pharmacy technician. There are 2 main settings that you can work in, okay? There's retail, and then there's the hospital setting. I do suggest that if you do plan on becoming a pharmacy technician, that you start out with retail. This is what I tell my students. Everything that I'm telling you, I tell my students. I'm gonna try to keep this very short, hopefully about 15 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep it less than that if I can. But anyway, retail is more of dealing with the public, okay? If you are comfortable with dealing with the public and talking with the public, then great. Then you'll be great for retail. You will be processing. I have a plane coming over. You will be processing prescriptions. You will be taking prescriptions from patients. You will be receiving prescriptions through the fax machine. Let me let this plane go over real quick because I don't know if you can still hear me or not. Okay, I think it's almost gone. Okay, so you'll be taking prescriptions from patients, fax machines. Sometimes they'll be e-scribed. Sometimes the nurse practitioner, the nurse or the doctor will call in refills, but you have to remember, a pharmacy technician is never to take a new prescription over the phone, okay? Like I said, you can always take new prescriptions if someone brings you one, or someone faxes it, or possibly if someone e-scribes it, but never over the phone, okay? That's retail. At the cash register, still in retail, you will be collecting the patient's prescription, and you will be selling them their prescription. So always verify their information, okay? Another thing, you may work in the drive-thru. It's the same thing, it's just a drive-thru. So if someone comes up and say, my name is Jane Doe, you look for their prescription, you verify as much information as you possibly can, and you sell the prescription. Now the hospital setting is totally different from retail. You will not be processing any insurance claims. The only thing that you will mainly be doing, you won't have to type in any prescriptions. You will not have to be dealing with the public as far as patients or anything like that. The main thing that you will be doing is delivering medications to different units in the hospital. You'll be delivering controlled narcotics to different areas of your hospital. You will be using a pneumatic tube to where you are tubing different medications throughout the hospital. Your pharmacist, he or she does everything as far as typing in prescriptions, making sure all the doctor requests are done. They speak solely to the nurses unless it is something that you can answer, okay? And sometimes you can refill medication requests in your system, just depending on what type of system or format that you're working with. Also in a hospital setting, you will be doing more inspections. I didn't really do that many inspections in retail. To be honest, I don't remember doing any inspections in retail. So these are two totally different jobs as far as hospital and retail. But her question was if I like being a pharmacy technician, and I do. I enjoy it very much. The way that I got started is I was just working at Walgreens. And when I first started there, I was at the front counter as a cashier. I moved from there to the beauty department. Hi, how are ya? I can't believe I just said that. Anyway, I moved to the beauty department, and all of a sudden one day they were like, Arnika, can you please come to the pharmacy and work? And I was like, okay, sure. So I went back there. They loved my work, and I was like, wow, okay, this could be something I could do. So they asked me if I would like to come back there full time, and I was like, sure. You know, I was kind of up and down about it because I just had this thing for makeup, and I love doing makeup, and I didn't want to leave the beauty department, even though I knew that going back to the pharmacy there was like a $3 increase in my pay. So, you know, I had to weigh my options. You know, even though money isn't everything, you know, your happiness is. Remember that your happiness is the goal in life. Okay. All right. But anyway, so, you know, I decided to become a pharmacy technician. So I took my test, passed my test, and I was back there full time. So from there, I had to leave that job because I was raising a daughter, and she was not at the age to where I could leave her at home alone. So I had to find another job that was an 8 to 5. So I did that for almost 3 years. And I moved to another company that was retail. Okay, all these are retail. So I moved to another company, and they closed. Well, they didn't close at that time. It was just a lot of chitter chatter about them closing, and I needed somewhere that was stable. Okay, which everyone should want a job that's stable. So I moved to where I am now in a hospital setting, and I love my job. I absolutely, I can honestly say that I love the work that I do at my job. It consists of being in the IV room, which I like doing that. And yes, I have been poked in the stomach. I've poked myself in the boob before. I've poked myself in the finger. You are going to get stuck by a needle if you are working with a needle. So if you're squeamish, then that may not be the job for you. Okay. And also I work out front, and that's just delivering medications, filling medications. You need to make sure that you're comfortable and you're well educated in the job that you do, and you're not going to know everything. Okay, that's one thing that I always tell my students that I like about my job is that there's so much diversity in pharmacy. Really, there's so much diversity. You will not do the same thing every single day, because someone will call you, a nurse will call you and say, you know, something different to you, and then there's something different that you have going on. The printer may go out, this may go out, that, you know, you just don't know. So there's something different happening every single day. When I get to the point in my career where everything is the same, that's when I will not want to be a pharmacy technician anymore, because I want my brain to constantly learn something new every day. That's why I like to teach. And that's why I like for my students to ask questions. I don't like it when they don't ask questions. I really dislike it when it's silent in the room, because I'm like, anybody got any questions for me? Because I need you to ask. I need you to ask. And when they ask a question, I make sure that I let them know, thank you for asking a question, because if you ask a question, that lets me know that you are wanting to learn, and that's what I'm here for. Another thing is when my students come into my classroom, I don't assume that they know anything, okay? They're like a blank white sheet of paper, okay? And I have the ink, which is the knowledge, for them to write down on that blank white sheet of paper, okay? So that's how any teacher needs to go into it. As far as teaching students, go in as though they are a blank slate, and you are giving them all the knowledge that they need to have about their career, okay? And that's what I try to do one of my students told me that she felt like I overeducated the class. I would rather overeducate you than undereducate you, okay? That's the smart thing to do. But if you are thinking, Adriana, if you are thinking about being a pharmacy technician, I think that it is a great career move. Just remember, you have 4 different fields, okay? And you can be all 4 if that's what you choose. Like I said, a nuclear pharmacy technician, a chemo pharmacy technician, a sterile IV pharmacy technician, or a compounding pharmacy technician. So there's 4 different ones. Chemo, compounding, sterile IV, nuclear medicine, okay? I haven't figured out where I can go to learn how to be a nuclear pharmacy technician. I did a little research at one point, but it just kept saying on the job training. So yeah, I do enjoy being a pharmacy technician. Excuse me. Have I thought about being a pharmacist? Of course I have. Do I have almost $200,000 to be a pharmacist? Do I want to go into debt being a pharmacy technician? No. I'm already paying for a home, and then to put all those loans on myself on top of that, I just, maybe that's for a person that's maybe starting out in their 20s. But for me, I'm 40, 40 is the new 20. And no, I don't think I'm 20. It's just, well, that's a whole other video. But yeah, I just, I'm wanting to get settled into life, which I'm finally settling into my life because my daughter is getting older. But if you are a young individual, even if you are an older individual, that it just depends on your financial situation. If you're comfortable with paying back student loans, go for it. I'm not comfortable with that, so I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I enjoy being a pharmacy technician. I can honestly say that I love the coworkers that I work with right now. Of course, you're going to have disputes, but that's what I teach my students. You have to have an open level of communication. You have to be able to talk to each other, and remember that you are all adults. Okay, that's one thing. You don't talk to each other like children. You don't do that. You talk to each other like adults, which you are. Okay, so just remember that and take that with you wherever you go on any job that you go to. I can see if you're an adult and you're working with a 15-year-old and you may be talking to that person like a child, because to me, a 15 at least to 17, you are a child, okay? And that doesn't mean that I'm going to talk to you harshly. That just means that I may talk to you more in a friendlier tone, like, hey, don't do that, this is not how we do things. I'll talk to you like that. But as far as adults, respect each other. As you can see in the news, there are people that go to work and hurt their coworkers, shoot each other, come into the workplace doing all those type of things. I like to work in a safe, friendly environment. I don't want to come to work and everything feels so tense and so cloudy. No, you don't want to work like that and then have your workload on top of you also. Okay, so any job that you work into, try to go into with a positive attitude. And if you have conflict, try to resolve it. Even if you have to apologize and you know that you're not wrong, sweetheart, it's still okay to apologize. It's called diffusing a situation, all right? That's what that's called. For me, when I was younger, my sister, she fought all of my battles for me, and I appreciate her for that, because I'm just not a confrontational type of woman, because it makes me sweat, it makes me have headaches, and it makes my stomach hurt, and I don't like to be argumentative. The only person that I will argue with is my daughter, honey. That's the and possibly my sister, because we're related. We're supposed to argue. So yeah, I enjoy being a pharmacy technician. So I hope this helped you, and I hope this helps you decide on whether or not you would like to pursue a career as a pharmacy technician. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.